Okay. All right. Read a statement this evening. June 26th, 7 p.m. Thank you for all coming this evening. The qualifications of the members of the commission, the staff of the commission, and any consultants used or on file with the town and are hereby made part of each and every application heard tonight. The guidelines and procedures adopted by the commission are also made part of each and every application. Each application heard tonight is considered on its own merits and is not to be considered as establishing a precedent for any other application. The Historic District Design Guidelines have been adopted by the town of Sykesville in accordance with Article 6B, 8.06A of the Maryland Code and follow the recommendations of the United States Secretary of the Interior. The Sykesville Historic District Commission follows Robert's Rules of Order with the exception that the chairperson votes. Okay, so we only have one application this evening. We do have review of the minutes from May 22nd, 2024. And I think you've already pointed out there was one adjustment that needed to be made for that.
Yeah, just that I was present. I was not for May 22nd.
Any other adjustments needed? Anybody? Okay, is there a motion on the minutes from May 22nd, 2024 to be accepted?
I'll make a motion to approve minutes from May 22nd, 2024.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. First, consideration discussion on 2024-23 for a tree removal at 7332 Springfield Avenue. Kevin, do you have a staff report this evening?
Yeah, so I'll try to keep it brief, but so the property owner at 7332 Springfield Avenue has requested approval to remove a tree that's located in the front yard of their property and viewable from public right-of-way. It's a residential property. The house dates back to 1912 and is considered a contributing structure to the historic district. Section 10F, page 62 of our HDC guidelines states that mature trees, particularly those that can be seen from a public right-of-way, are important to defining the character of the historic district. And it also states that no tree over 12 inches in diameter may be removed without approval from the Historic District Commission. The applicant is claiming that the tree in question is dead and presents a safety hazard to the residents and visitors to the property. Staff was able to speak with a tree expert from OHW Inc., which is a tree company that we actually use here in town that we recommended to them. I did request that they send me an email or something in writing. They didn't do that, but I did talk to them and I can confirm that the tree expert confirmed that the tree is dead and they recommended that it be taken down. So HEC is being asked to determine if removal of the tree at 7332 Springfield Avenue is appropriate or to recommend alternative actions such as pruning in order to mitigate any potential safety hazards. But considering the information presented from the tree expert and our observations as well, staff does recommend approval of the application and allowing the immediate removal of the tree. And then I added a suggested motion in there. Hopefully, if you guys want to use it, you don't have to, but it's there. Again, it's just common practice that we've been using in our other committees and commissions, so included it there as well. As you guys know, the applicant wasn't able to make it tonight, but I did speak to them. There were some extenuating circumstances to that, so we're okay with that.
Could somebody bring up the photos?
Yeah.
Okay, as you see is the trees on the left-hand side of the image provided.
It's a different angle.
Is there any conversation regarding this application? Any questions?
I think we've all gone past the tree. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's pretty.
I'm not a tree expert, but it's been in decline for about 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not
Is there anything in the guidelines, because I looked at it briefly, that talks about, what to do with stumps or anything like that, or to replace a tree with the tree that you're removing? Has that ever been part of any discussions?
Not that I remember.
Okay.
No.
Didn't we talk about potentially having an approved species list, maybe, potentially?
So there is a town.
We do have in our town landscape guidelines, we do have an approved species list for that's usually used for new construction and subdivisions and such, but it can apply to anything in town basically. It comes from the county. It's their approved species list.
So is that something that we could send to anybody who's having a tree removed as just a reference?
Certainly.
Sure.
Yeah.
I notice here that it's, trees that are not hardy or well suited for the climate, but it doesn't say you can't plant them.
Yeah, I mean, our landscape guidelines, like I said, those are generally for when we're approving subdivisions as a town. We can't necessarily enforce everyone in town to plant only certain types of trees. However, in the historic district, obviously, we do have at least those guidelines that we can follow. But you know, folks outside the historic district don't necessarily have to follow that or what's in our landscape guidelines.
It also gets a little dicey because historically they may have been planting some less native species as a decoration, you know, especially turn of the century. That would have been a very popular thing. So then you're almost prescribing something more out of character with the time period.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was part of my just thought process was if we're removing a tree, do we just request another tree to be put in? Just
Yeah.
It's a good thought, yeah.
but
At least put a suggestion out there.
Yeah.
It can't hurt.
yeah.
It's never a bad thing to have another tree.
Yeah, especially on that street.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I don't think our guidelines require it, but again, it's one of those things where we can always ask the applicant, you know, if they'd be willing to do a little bit extra, and you know, we can't require it, but you know, a lot of times folks are happy to comply when it's stuff like replacing a tree, things like that.
In the approval letter we send them, we can say, hey, we recommend trees in the landscape guidelines, and we can send them a link to that as well.
So a friend of mine sent me, I'm not sure, Carroll County tree program where once a year you can tell them, I think you get 10 trees for $20 or something like that. And they're all native species.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if that's a resource we can put like as a
Yeah,
tagline in there and
sure.
say, hey, there's a program out there for inexpensive native trees.
Yeah, we love as many trees as we can get in town.
Yeah.
So,
There's a state program too for native trees. It's only at participating nurseries, but you get $25 off native species if you fill out the voucher and bring it in. It's on the state's website.
yeah, that could be another thing we could include with an approval letter.
Just thinking of things to help people out a little bit.
For sure.
All right, is there a motion on this application? Then we can include on that motion the suggestion of planting a tree.
I'll make a motion to approve application 2024-23 for tree removal at 7332 Springfield Avenue.
Okay. Do we want to add that stipulation of suggestion of replanting a tree in the suggested area to replace it? It's something that coincides with the natural habitat or natural species of Maryland. Okay, is there a second on that motion?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, any reports this evening?
Nothing from me this evening.
Okay, great.
Only one that I've got is to say thank you for letting me be the liaison for the past 8 years.
Now you guys are stuck with me.
You're in
so.
good hands with Kevin, but I'm still around if you need me.
Get home earlier, huh?
A little bit earlier.
Nice, nice.
Well, we ought to be thanking you. You've done a very good job.
Well, thank you.
Organizing everything. Okay, is there a motion to dismiss the meeting this evening?
Motion
Adjourn.
to adjourn.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you guys for showing up.